Hello, it's Susan Lazar, Hart here. Today's Ask Susan is brought to you from Toronto. The room's a bit yellowish, so if I'm a little bit yellowish, well, join in. One of the things I love about all the questions you've been sending in is they're being sent from people all around the world who are asking, how can I create something greater? Not just with their relationship with someone else, but also with their relationship with themselves. So one of the themes that came out in today's Q&As is about intimacy, the willingness to actually be intimate with yourself. Now, intimacy is in this reality is known as copulation. I saw you naked, we must be intimate. Well, what if it was something different? Would you be willing to step into something different today? What if intimacy was actually the willingness to honor you and ask the question, is being with this person honoring of me? Am I willing to be vulnerable with me? If you're willing to be vulnerable with you and lower your barriers and just ask yourself, does being with this person create greater or less for me? Is this an honoring of me to be with this person? Am I willing to be vulnerable with this person so I don't have to have my guard up? I don't have to play a game of, does he like me? Does she like me? If I say this, if I don't say this, there's no guard up. It's the vulnerability, it's the barriers down. And to trust that you know. To trust that you really can trust that you know with being with this person create more for you or less for you. And when you're with somebody, you're with your body as well. So bring your body into these questions and let's just look and see what the questions were that came to me to create this theme of intimacy with Ask Susan this week. So, hi Susan, this is from Merit. If you fancy someone but they're not lighting up your world, how do you let them go? The person is totally in control in this situation and they know it. He knows if he plays his cards right, I'll have sex with him. But he's toying with me around and wants me only when I pull away and decide that I don't want to be around him. As soon as I desire him, he pulls away. He still keeps hanging around. Any clearings I could run? Any questions I could ask? Thank you so much, Merit. Thank you for your vulnerability in writing this. So, how many of us have trapped ourselves in the trap of looking to find somebody else to validate us, our sexualness, our being desired? I might ask for you, how much is this really working for you? Yeah. If you're with somebody who's not lighting up your world, what have you decided you are that you're not? Yeah. And what have you decided you're not that you are? Is that an honoring of you to be with somebody who doesn't light up your world? And being with this person, what will that create for your future? Less or more? So how do you let somebody go? Bye-bye. Really, what are you creating as a distraction from creating your own juicy, joyous, orgasmic, intimate life with you by holding on to someone who's holding on to you? And I might ask, what do you love about this? Because there's something here, Merit, that you love that is creating this kind of cycle. When we involve ourselves in a revolving door of yes, no, come, go, start, stop, come. Oh, that's an interesting play on words right now, isn't it? You might ask, who did you buy that from? Is that really the kind of relationship that creates greater for you, for your money flows, for your body, and for the world? Yeah. So everything that brings up for everybody, everywhere you've decided that you have no choice, everywhere you put yourself in a choiceless universe, would you be willing to let that go as well? And everything that doesn't allow that, uncreate and destroy that. Because everywhere you're buying this lack of intimacy with you as a way to destroy you, would you be willing to step into the space of, I wonder what else is possible in creating something greater? As soon as I desire him, he pulls away. Again, it's any clearings I could run. This is not about clearings. This is, even though I'm clearings are popping up every second as I speak with you, this is more about choice. What are you choosing to create? Who are you choosing to be in this relationship? And if it works for you, indulge yourself. Some people like to do a little, I'm in charge, I'm in control, a little, oh look, I'm pale, weak, and pathetic. I'm helpless under his or her gaze. Hey, if that's working for you, go for it. If it's not, what else is truly possible? And what would you like to choose that you haven't been choosing, that if you stepped into true choice would give you more of you? Because being in an intimate relationship with somebody else is about you being more of you, every way and every day. So Merritt, let me know how this works for you. I love hearing from you, and I'm so grateful that you wrote this question today. The second question that came up, kind of around the same, is, hi Susan, this is from Katja. Could you talk about being vulnerable with ourselves and being an allowance with ourselves? Yeah, so there's a nice flow from one of these questions to the other. Do you guys kind of get how that works? If you're actually willing to be vulnerable with yourself, you can sit down and ask yourself these kinds of questions, or stand up and ask these kinds of questions. Being vulnerable with you is the willingness to be in the question, to acknowledge what is working and what isn't working, and ask for truly, where is this working for me? And how can I create something greater with all of the possibilities that are working with me and creating with my future? Being vulnerable is the willingness to say, you know what, going down dead-end roads, hitting blocks, it's not about fixing it. I don't have to prove anything to myself. There's nothing about being validated. It's about saying, okay, what's greater here? And just what else is possible, and creating that space of possibilities. Being an allowance is the willing to say, wow, that was an interesting choice. Didn't work out the way I thought. Okay. Notice there's no judgment there. Like, where have you been taught to judge yourself first and then create after? Yeah. What if there was nothing to figure out? The other day I reacted and I wrote something, and afterwards I was like, wow, that actually wasn't my greatest possible choice. And yet I did choose it. So it's not about pot and pocking it or processing it. It's more about the awareness of, like, okay, what was that? Not in a negative way, not in a judgmental way. What was that? Where did I go that if I didn't go would create something greater? And I was like, oh, that's my go-to. My go-to is reaction. There is no action in reaction. So how many of us were brought up and taught to react as a way of being present? Yeah. There's the vulnerability in there, and the allowances in there is like, okay, so what else is possible here? Everywhere I've made that as my go-to, would I be willing to change it? So once I started to become aware of, like, oh, that it still could be creating something greater. I don't have to know what it is. And now what other choices do I have? I can be in total allowance of whatever it is that I'm creating, and then ask a question, does it work for me? And the willingness to be vulnerable is to say, hey, you know what? If you're with somebody else, this actually doesn't work for me. What's greater here? What other possibilities are here for us? What other possibilities are here for me? And I love that you asked about being vulnerable with ourselves, because the true relationship, your primary relationship, is with you. And what is it that you could create with you that actually would change every space and every place in which you are with someone else? So thank you so much, Katja. Let me know how that works for you. I adore you guys. This has been just amazing series of questions coming in, and truly, what else is possible? Okay, thanks a lot. And come on over to Ask Susan Insider, www.asksusanlazarhart.com. We've had special bonuses. We have special features that are only on the Insider newsletter that comes out every week, and we'd love to send you those as well. Check out Right Relationship for you all around the world, and enjoy yourself today. What is it that you could let go of, that if you actually stepped into that space of not knowing you, of being totally vulnerable with you, would create something far greater for you today? Bye guys, adore you, and catch you during the week and next Sunday.